Jannik Sinner is proving once again why he's one of the most dangerous players on the planet. Fresh off his victory at the China Open, he crushed American teenager Lerner Tien in straight sets to lift his 21st career title. This wasn't just another win, it was redemption after a string of tough finals against Carlos Alcaraz. But what does this mean for the battle at the very top of men's tennis? And how will Jannik's confidence carry him into Shanghai? Stay tuned, because this story is just getting started. Jannik Sinner is writing yet another chapter in what is quickly becoming one of the most compelling tennis rivalries and journeys of our time. In Beijing, under the lights of the China Open, the world number 2 lifted his 21st career title, his second China Open crown, and an emphatic third trophy of the 2025 season. His victim, the teenage American prodigy, Lerner Tien, who despite the loss, walked away with the world's attention firmly locked on him. The scoreboard may read 6-2, 6-2, but the story was far richer. Just imagine it. Sinner, 24 years old, facing a fearless teenager playing his very first ATP final. The pressure was there, the nerves were visible, yet Sinner struck first, breaking in the opening game as Tien double faulted. But instead of folding, the youngster grew bolder, carving out 2 break points and rattling the Italian giant. Though he failed to convert, those moments screamed one thing: Lerner Tien is coming, and the world better get ready. Sinner, however, had his own narrative to rewrite. 4 of his last 5 finals had ended in heartbreak at the hands of Carlos Alcaraz. The only exception, a triumph at Wimbledon, where he finally got the better of his Spanish rival. This China Open wasn't just about another title, it was about shaking off that finals curse and re-establishing dominance on hard court, a surface where he now owns a staggering 18 titles. Would you believe that? 18 of his 21 trophies have come on the very courts that define the modern game. Speaking to Tien after the match, Sinner's humility was on full display. "You are showing all season what a talent you are. Keep going. You are playing incredible tennis. Hopefully we can share moments like this in the future." That's not just sportsmanship, that's a passing of the torch moment, where the veteran acknowledges the fire rising in the next generation. What do you think? Did Lerner Tien just give us a glimpse of tennis's future? And then there's the rivalry that looms over everything: Sinner versus Alcaraz. This time, Alcaraz was absent, having chosen to play and win the Japan Open before withdrawing from Shanghai to recover from physical issues. While Carlos rests, Jannik is charging forward, stepping into the Masters 1000 in Shanghai with momentum and confidence. Imagine the stage if these two collide again later this season. Can you feel it? This isn't just competition, it's destiny in motion. Let's not forget the historical arc here. In 2023, Sinner won his first China Open by defeating Daniil Medvedev. In 2024, he reached the final again but fell to Alcaraz. Now in 2025, he reclaims the crown. That's not luck, that's resilience, that's evolution. That's the story of a man determined to not just compete, but to define an era. So what does this victory really mean? On paper, it's just another title, but in reality, it's a warning shot to the entire tennis world. Jannik Sinner isn't content with being number 2. He wants the throne. He wants to break free of the shadow of Alcaraz and carve his own legacy. And for Lerner Tien, this is just the beginning. Every champion has that first painful final, that first taste of defeat that fuels the fire. Could this loss be the spark that propels Tien into the elite ranks? Let me know what you think in the comments below, because if one thing is certain after Beijing, it's this: tennis is entering a golden era of rivalries, redemption, and rising stars. And Jannik Sinner is right at the center of it all. And so, Jannik Sinner stands tall in Beijing, holding his 21st career title, proving to the world that he is more than just Alcaraz's rival. He is a champion in his own right. But with Carlos Alcaraz resting and Lerner Tien knocking on the door of greatness, the road ahead is filled with battles that will define this generation of tennis. Can Sinner ride this momentum all the way to Shanghai and beyond? And has Lerner Tien just announced himself as the next teenage superstar ready to crash the party? One thing's for sure, the future of tennis is burning brighter than ever. The story isn't ending here, it's only just beginning. In tennis, every choice shapes destiny. What if I told you that Carlos Alcaraz just gave up the Shanghai Masters, not because of fear, but because of wisdom? And would you believe that Jannik Sinner is now one step away from reclaiming the number 1 spot in the world? The rivalry that's redefining tennis has taken another dramatic twist, and you won't want to miss what happens next. Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz, 2 names, 1 rivalry, and a battle that's beginning to shape the very soul of modern tennis. They've split the last 8 Grand Slams between them, trading blows like gladiators on a global stage. And now, as the season barrels toward its conclusion, their story has taken another breathtaking twist. In China, Jannik Sinner continues to push his limits. After outlasting Alex de Minaur in the semifinals of the China Open, Sinner now prepares for a showdown in the final against the rising talent Lerner Tien. The stakes are sky high, because waiting just beyond the net is something even greater, the chance to reclaim the #1 ranking in the world. Meanwhile, halfway across the tennis map, Carlos Alcaraz is making headlines of his own. Just days after his victory over Taylor Fritz in Japan, he stunned the tennis world not with another win, but with a decision, withdrawing from the Shanghai Masters. Why? An injury scare, fatigue, and perhaps most importantly, the wisdom of a champion who understands that longevity matters as much as glory. Would you believe that this one choice could swing the balance of the entire season? What if I told you that Alcaraz stepping aside opens the door for Sinner to walk straight back into tennis history? Sinner now has a clear path: win the China Open final, then follow it with triumphs in Shanghai and Vienna. If he does, the #1 spot is his once again. But here's the twist: even then, it might only last a week, because Alcaraz, with fewer points to defend later in the season, is poised to retake the throne almost immediately after the Paris Masters. What do you think? Is this back and forth at the top healthy for tennis, or does it create instability? Let me know in the comments below. What cannot be denied is the energy these two young giants bring. Alcaraz, still only 22, already boasts Grand Slam titles, Masters trophies, and the aura of a world beater. His explosive forehand, lightning speed, and uncanny ability to rise under pressure have made him a phenomenon. Yet even he knows when to pause, when to heal, when to let the fire cool before it burns too bright. On the other side, Jannik Sinner represents calm precision, relentless discipline, and the hunger of a man who tasted the summit and refuses to let it slip away. Every point he plays feels like a statement that he belongs, that he will not yield, that the rivalry is far from over. Can you believe we are only at the beginning of this duel? Some say it echoes Federer versus Nadal, Djokovic versus Murray. But what if I told you this one could burn even hotter, faster, and more fiercely? 8 Grand Slams already shared between them, and they're barely stepping into their prime. As Shanghai misses the presence of Alcaraz, the storyline shifts to Beijing, Vienna, and eventually the ATP final. Each step, each swing, each withdrawal is shaping the balance of power. For Sinner, October 27th could be the date he reclaims the crown. For Alcaraz, it's just a pause before the next storm. What do you think, tennis fans? Is Sinner about to seize his moment, or is Alcaraz simply reloading for an even greater strike? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this rivalry belongs not just to them, but to all of us who watch, hope, and believe.